Welcome to Chris's Storytelling Corner. This is Christopher Mordong of Chris's Storytelling Corner. Today I'm going to present a list of the top 6 magic users in anime. The type of magic users I'm going to present here would be closer to like the Harry Potter style, doing incantations, um, real like wizards and like sorcerers and witches and whatnot. Not really like the ability or like a very particular ability type of magic, not like alchemy, for example, or like an Alice, is another example. It's like real wizard, like more closer to like real wizardry and whatnot. Not using cards per se that have some sort of elemental ability, for example, but closer to. So that's less like magical girl. A little less of that. Closer to just like normal magic. So now that we got that out of the way, next time I'll have a manga review for Skip Beat Volumes 3 and 4 and a movie review for Thor Ragnarok. You can check out my author's website at www.chrismodon.com. You can buy my first novel, a fantasy adventure called The Mustard Prince in the Condiment Kingdom for $4.99. Also, for $2.99, you can buy my short story collection, a collection of 10 short stories in the horror, fantasy, and realistic fiction genres. Check out my Twitter page and author's Facebook page. Links to all these will be provided on the description. I'd also really like to hear from you guys, so leave any comments as well. Make sure to subscribe and share this channel as well. So, let's just get started with the 6 top magic users in anime. The first one, this one's a little more nostalgia for me, so that's why I put her on the list. She's not very particularly potent, nor is this series very well known, but it just had some nostalgia for me, so I had to go with Sae Sawanoguchi from Mahoutsuki Tai, or Magic Users Club. This one's a little closer to Magical Girl, but she did actually like ride brooms and have like magic powers. Sai was very clumsy. She couldn't fly on a broom at first. Um, she had a great amount of power to utilize and potential, but just lacked the training and concentration to really tap into this potential. She really looked up to her the club leader Takakura, but then she also had feelings for him as well. So she was like really kind of like your typical clumsy magic user with all the power in the world, and was just kind of shy, um, and just not the most reliable or capable unless given a particular situation. You'll actually see that quite a bit. Next one after that, I went with Howell Jenkins Pendragon from Howell's Moving Castle. Howell, he was actually part of a loose fraternity of wizards on Earth. He obviously owns a moving castle which has, I guess, inhabitants such as Calcifer in it and whatnot. Um, he's kind of a womanizer as well. He had a lot of powers actually. He can shapeshift. He can just pass through walkways, slip past like henchmen, and go to just different areas with the use of his magic as well. He's actually a royal wizard of Ingari, and not the most bravest guy out there. He was actually something of a coward. Um, something of a coward. Chose more to run away from like tough situations at times. Um, but he was a very potent wizard. Next wizard, next person after that, we got Yuko Ichihara from XXXaholic. Yuko is actually a little close. I mean, she's a witch, so and she did have powers. So I guess, she kind of fits in this category. She's the owner of of a mysterious shop in Tokyo, and known as like the Dimensional Witch. Um, she's one of the few people with the power to send people to multiple worlds, and is a part of the Clamp universe. She actually has a somewhat ambiguous relationship with Clow Reed from Cardcaptor Sakura. Possible love story there. Um, he actually was the one that made it where she couldn't die, stuff like that. She can also do things like make gods. She had a very carefree at times, yet serious when needs to be personality. She puts this one boy, Watanuki Kimihiro, pretty much into servitude. But pretty much she granted wishes to people too, and the payback is pretty much what equivalent to what the person wished for. So she can also talk to different spiritual beings and whatnot, um, and had knowledge of other beings of existence and other worlds as well. So she was actually quite potent. Speaking of some potency that's a bit latent here, we got Louise Francoise, don't want to pronounce her full name, from Zero no Tsukaima, or Premier of Zero. She's the third daughter of the Valier family, who's an aristocratic family. I watched Familiar of Zero a long time ago, so I remember it as a pretty fun series. She was known as Louise the Zero due to her zero success rate at casting spells, and she had no affinity to any element. She had no elemental affinity. The fact of the matter is, her poor magical ability, it was just due to her alignment to void magic, which was an ancient branch of magic that only like 4 people could ever use. So she couldn't even had it, even even if she knew that early on. She learns that later on. At her school, she wouldn't have a teacher to teach her void magic. She manages to get a familiar from Earth into her world, and if she wanted to actually use her void magic, it actually takes some time. She did actually have some propensity for some like very simple magic, but like whenever she tried any type of real magic of any element, it just kind of exploded in her face, because it's void magic. She couldn't tap into like your typical fire, ice, lightning, water, whatever stuff like that. She got magic from the void. Um, Next one after that. This one was kind of tough for me. There was a lot of candidates from this series, but I chose Nagi Springfield from Nagima. Now I could have chose Negi. I could have chose Evangeline, actually, if I think about it. But she only had like ice. I could have chose like his love interest, Negi's love interest as well. The bookstore girl. Geez, names are actually really escaping my head. Or the other one that actually turned out to be a really good fighter and a detective. I chose Nagi. One thing about Nagi is that he's the Thousand Master, and he's Nagi Springfield's father and a legendary wizard. He was also a wizard school dropout. Um, they've really actually explained a lot of. They got into good detail about like Nagi and that he was just so strong, both physically and with magical ability, that he didn't even need a Minister Magi to help him. Unlike with Negi, he had Asuna. Nagi, I mean, Nagi kind of, he kind of had his wife, his then to be wife, by his side, and he also had his like group with him, Rock On and all those other guys. But just by himself, this dude can this guy was a one man wrecking machine pretty much. Um, managed to beat Iota. Actually became Iota. If you spoiler alert in Yuki he becomes. Well, actually no. Actually, spoiler alert in the end of Nagima. It turns out he becomes Iota, the what sorceress of oh jeez, I forgot of time or whatever it was. Um, but his fighting style was that of a magic swordsman, so it wasn't just like your traditional wizard where like he shoots spells from afar. He can do that too. His lightning was really quite potent actually, but he can use like he's really fast at casting magic and hand-to-hand combat, and can do that in tandem. Negi will actually be able to fight this way as well, and but Nagi was just like quite a master of that. So speaking of like the master, I went pretty far back here, and there's so many candidates that you can think of for like magic users. But when I think of like a really strong magic user, I think of Lina Inverse from Slayers. Um, she was the most powerful and feared sorceress in all of the land. Uh, Once again, she's someone more towards like my generation. I know they actually made Slayers like um, they made like a new season of Slayers. I'm not too sure if it was a reboot or whatnot. I don't think it was actually. But yeah, she was like one of the first like sorceresses out there with like unimaginable power. She also had some of the some really funny personality quirks. She has this really bad habit of eating a lot, and then she was not really like a good guy percent. I mean, she took money from the bad guys. Her specialty though was in black magic with a high magic capacity. Well, I mean, in like the first episode of Slayer, she uses the Dragon Slave, which like kills a dragon and destroys a town. Later on, she's gonna learn stuff like the Ragna Blade, and then of course she always had in the back pocket the Giga Slave, which can draw upon the power of the Lord of Nightmares. If you watch Slayer's Next, especially, the Lord of Nightmares actually enters into her. Um, these spells could the Giga Slave in particular can like destroy the earth pretty much. I mean, it's like that powerful. It's one of those like don't cast that spell or else something bad will happen, not just to you but to the world around you type of spell. She actually used the Giga Slave like 4 times or something like that. Um, she inputted it into Sword of Light, which Gabriel had. The Ragna blade by itself can cut through. It can cut through like there's like a spirit dimension, I think, and it can cut through that a lot. And it was also just super powerful as well. But Lina also had a lot of just cool attacks. Explosion. Geez, she had some fire attacks. I think she had one called Explosion Array. Um, she had some healing magic too, if I'm not mistaken. but her like black magic attacks were just really cool. She had a little more like diversity of her of attacks. You know, there's like fire. Um, uh, what would the Ragnar Blade and Giga Slave would be something like dark magic, like you know, just dark magic or true black magic. You can even call those void magic. Whereas a lot of these other people just had kind of like one magic, you know, or specialize in just one. You know, I thought Lina just kind of had a lot more variety. Like I said, like Louise Francoise, void magic. Even Nagi Springfield had more propensity just for lightning magic, and same with Nagi. You know, Lina kind of did a little bit of everything. You know, fire. I think she had some ice or water magic, and then like I said, the dark magic and whatnot as well. So that's all for today. If you like this, don't forget to subscribe, share, and comment to this channel. Thank you for listening to this list. Next time, I'll have a manga review for Skip Beat Volumes 3 and 4, and a movie review for Thor Ragnarok. Thank you, and until next time.